Let's go here. There we go. Alright, manage. I took everyone off. Oh, get a copy of a live replay and the highlights after each one. Oh, they get a copy. Oh. Let's see settings. Mark as moderators. So just take them off. You can pin comments, block comments, mute comments. How do you keep going back though? Settings. Moderators. Tether was one. Monza was one. This nigga's not anymore. God, do I have to do that every time, bro? Muted moderators. Bro. No. The turn comments on and off. Manage comments. Oh, just remove them. Okay, good. Just remove. Okay. Moderators. Right, okay. Peace was a moderator, but I'll remove her too. Ron's a moderator. I removed everybody. Okay, this is a moderator. Gotta get him out. Everybody except my day ones. We're gonna fight each other. Remove. Just giving everybody mod powers. That brother's cool. Jill was hella cool too. I should just have Jill up there. Oh, about me. No settings. Let's see. Market views. Moderators. Okay. Monza will cry if I take his mod powers away. Mod powers away. Oh, West J, Jill, Grace. I'll have Grace up there. Take Christian off. And we're good. I think those are good. Okay. Sige Christian. Yeah, I had him as a moderator still. Crazy, huh? I was trying to edit my mod section there. I'll make money. You're a mod for these panels.
I can't handle that, bro. I'm on my way to the. I'd love to.
No, I mean you don't have to talk to him. You could just mute him. You feel me? I'll give you actual mod parts because I couldn't do it last time because they were filled up and I couldn't find out what setting it was.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot trying to. Everybody wants something to, people make good points. People want to respond.
It's tough, man. It's crazy.
And your girl, she got a sharp mind, but she's kind of like just coming with a theory of. I don't want to call it pseudo. I don't want to call it pseudo, but everything is like it's like your own creation story. We all got one. You know what I'm saying? So right. You got to meet me at the middle ground of what we know to be fact. You know what I'm saying? I can't like you. I can't just hit you with my creation story and want you to accept it and not answer. You know what I'm saying? I said, come on now.
Oh, it got even crazier later on. What's up, Jay? It got crazier with Divine. Divine's you remember Divine, right, Jay?
Yeah, remember me and her. She was the one who was telling me, "Oh, that's when I told about ChatGPT," and she was like, "Well, that's you," and I was like, "Yeah, okay." Like, I'm not gonna argue with you because first of all, you're a female, and second of all, you're not talking about nothing. So no.
That one and two, exact. But let me tell you third. Let me tell you point three. Let me tell both of y'all point three. It's not work. Okay, you don't want to make an enemy out of some women because they'll get on here and they'll have beef with you, right? So they'll get at you and they'll come with whatever accusation they got for you. You know what I'm saying? And not all the men are mature enough to get to settle it like evenly. They're just gonna side with the girl. You know how dudes do. You know what I mean? Just want to, and it's like. I've seen it happen to a couple friends. It happened to me just today. Some girl interrupted. She's talking about, oh, money. You're always like she always says I'm interrupting the girls. Or I don't let women. I don't know what she's talking about, but I think I don't even want to get into it. But once they come at you like that, it's real difficult because the other dudes in the live, like, it's kind of awkward. You don't want to call them simps, and it's like. If you got trouble with a girl, yeah, everybody's gonna feel for the woman and try to like have her back or whatever if they ain't got no issue. But you know how girls could be, bro. It's like you got to defend yourself, man. So it puts you in a sticky situation, man. You know what I'm saying? And if she really got it in for you, she will get at you every time she catches you, man. Believe that.
Yeah. I got my ride and dies, But yesterday with Divine, and guess who it was? Smart, man. Later on, when you dropped off money, we ended up having some really good guests. Some people, Muslims, some that practice the Arab, some that took on the Arab culture and stuff like that. Gave a really good breakdown on.
That's what I want to ask Slim. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to ask.
But it wasn't even Slim. It wasn't Slim or the Somali. These were African Muslims. I mean, I'm sorry. Slim is an African Muslim. What am I saying?
Yeah. It
was like different regions. It was different regions of Africa, not just Somali. So, but anyways, guys, it was funny because Smart. Remember Smart, the girl that Christian got into it with, the older lady, Jay? Remember that older lady, Jay? Smart?
Yeah. He also got into it with Divine, remember? And then he fell in love with her within 90 seconds and started defending her against you. And that's why he doesn't talk to you to this
day. Some of them are bad, man. Some of these women are fine. I'll give them that. So,
I've had a lot of fallouts these past couple of weeks with a couple people. I'll tell you later, Jay. But with Smart and Divine, I knew it was going to be a clash because sorry, I got a call. She tolerate any of that pretending and stuff, and I knew, and they were vibing for like an hour up until Divine started talking about how the indigenous people, and it was just a clash, man. I have it all recorded. It's hilarious, but I mean, they were good. I mean, it's tough. You're right. It's tough to try to get in between that, but they listened to me, eventually. I had to get a little harsh on them, but.
You got to put that daddy energy on them. Hold on. Hey, matter of fact, I didn't. Okay, Barney. Barney, right? Barney, June, and them. She went she went on an epic rant last night. She was drunk and I said, man, nobody miscarrying them. They ain't try to help her and say, girl, relax, chill. I wish somebody record. I don't know how you record. I mean, I got to figure that out because I was like, I should have recorded this.
Yeah, you sound like me when I wanted to record that Mexican brother going into LT, but I never got it.
In LT, you gonna laugh at this? Apparently, LT is a tether.
To who?
Somebody accused LT of being a tether, so I said, "Damn, LT, you getting it? You got, yeah. Now, now what?"
You fuck. Yeah. Anyways, Jay, I started. I posted this one last night, and it's just. I just want to. It's a long story of how I got to this. How I got to this prompt. Give me. Yeah. It's the weekend. I had to get away for a little bit. Came for a walk at the park again. But yeah, man, just bringing this up because I got into it with Black. You remember Black. And then his buddy
You got into it with him?
finally got into it with him. Yeah.
After you spoken that nonsense before?
Yep. And he had a bunch of new people's back when somebody called me a white boy because I started talking about this subject and they didn't like what I was saying. They want to throw everybody that spoke Arabic under the bus, and talking about all the present day atrocities that are happening with Arabs in Africa. And anyways, I thought it was a little extreme, so I started telling my truth, and they didn't want to hear it. This one girl kept over talking me. I'm mod there. Black made me mod. So I started muting motherfuckers, dropping motherfuckers. And he didn't like that at all. And this girl, she just kept yapping, man. I told her to shut the fuck up. And they used that just against me. They said that I was hating on the black woman, that I don't talk to a queen like that. And then somebody called me a white boy. So I was like, yeah, I'm a white boy. They asked me, what am I? Because, they said I sound like a white boy. I embodied a white man and started going off on him like I was a white man just to throw him off. But then they used that against me. It was bad, but whatever. So I just want to speak on the topic that these guys didn't want to speak on or be truthful about,
Yeah. I was on here. I peeked in yesterday. I saw you had the other dude, the Somali dude you're cool with.
Mm-hmm.
I saw he was on there.
Yeah.
See, last time we spoke, even him, it was some issues because I'm like, yeah, bro. You even pointed that out. You were like, he knows very well a lot of Horn Africans don't even call themselves black. So what is he talking about? This narrative that in Africa we all know we look the same. No, y'all, no. These Nigerians do not claim y'all. They think you guys are invaders. So just get out of here with that, bro. They'll make up narratives that don't exist. You know very well that's not true.
Right.
I mean, it's just like, for me. It's just like if you're gonna give a narrative, it's weird because like I was trying to. I don't think he got it, but I was trying to tell him. I'm like, bro, everything you just said, I could just replace the word North African with Horn African, and that's exactly what the Nigerians are gonna say about you. So what are you actually? You're not demonstrating anything, bro. You're just giving your opinion, and they're gonna give their opinion because every asshole has an opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like you haven't you know what I mean? We can all hate on each other. Basically, you're just hating on them, and then somebody's gonna hate on you. So. Is this what we're doing now? Like, right? We're not gonna. We're gonna who gets to decide who's so-called African or whatever, right? And then even when he was like, "Oh, well, they were invaders," I'm like, so how long do you have to be? I guess your answers have to be on that continent to not be considered an invader. Is it 100 years, 20 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years? How long are we talking? Because you see what I mean. But they never actually get to that point because that would then show the holes or the bullshit in their whole narrative. That it's really made up. It's just nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just arbitrary. It's just their opinion. They're just saying it, and they haven't really thought through what the implications of what they're saying. Why it leads all these paradoxes and contradictions. You feel me?
The brother goes like, "I'm so confused."
Yeah.
Last night it was funny. Go ahead.
And then the thing about even the Muslim thing, and he was like, "Oh well, our land." And when he was trying to talk about the origin of the language, because he knew that when I pointed out that Afro-Asiatic family tree, and then he was trying to say, "Oh well, but it originated from us," and I'm like, "But did it though? You sure about that?"
Yeah, let me go ahead and tell you the mixes, and let me tell you who's the indigenous ones.
Right? Because I'm like, if it originated with you, then why is it that your language family? The supposed origin in Africa is the only one that also exists natively outside of Africa, but the other people's languages don't. But you claiming yours was original. Okay.
Right.
Like, that's actually the reason why those Nigerians are claiming that you're not native to Africa, because your language is shared with these West Asian people. So yeah, like, you see what I mean? It's like we can do that all day. We can go back and forth about who's truly like native to Africa, and even like that word native, indigenous. It's like they don't even define any of that. They'll just blurt it out, and it's like, well, what do you even mean by indigenous, bro? Because that's based on a time frame. You know, like, you have to actually say what you mean before you start. Because if you're going to make a whole argument and it's hinging upon this definition you have of indigenous or native, you need to actually state what you mean by that. Because if we don't even agree with that from the beginning, then everything you derive from that is just going to be nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
feel me?
what I hear from the two Somalis, the Slim and J Money, right?
Yeah,
And
Jay
they're
Money,
saying,
that's the one. Yeah.
and they have this narrative, with Islam and they are Muslims, and it's good to get at their perspectives. But when we start, breaking down what exact kind of sect of Islam do you believe in? How are the Arabs involved? How do you see other African people that are traditional indigenous folks in Africa? All these things that we started asking, which it's like they have their own way of interpreting it too. They say like that like Islam started in Africa. They'll go that route, and so it's just interesting to see how they think about it. But like, you're right about how they go about the narrative or their argument, because they're still trying to figure out these answers themselves. And anytime they come across anything that's different information, it's really hard for them to digest, and try to pick up the pieces about like what's left over of what they've been following this entire time, and it's pretty interesting because they get to see other Muslims speaking about their African traditions and how they still believe in animism. They still believe in spirits, and you hear other Muslims saying, "Well, that's not right. You can't do that and be a Muslim." And so there's a lot of contention. There's a lot of different points of view. But yesterday I had some brother Sam and another brother Intrinsic that was up here. That was kind of, one brother's about language and numerology, and the other brother's all about African spiritualism and all about Africa, and understanding that, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are all like the same tree, with different branches, and how we're all like a little misled to believe that these are different religions going at it with one another, but that is not the truth. More than likely they're all one and the same. They just make us believe that they're all fighting amongst.
That was the narrative they were trying to spin.
Well, that was what those brothers were telling, like J Money, J Money and the other brother, because they were stuck. And so my thing with them was with J Money, because they're Somali, I'm Eritrean, and so they start breaking all that down. And I also want to know how Islam is accepted in Eritrea and all that stuff too. So I'm still fishing for like little information that will cue me in, more about our people being mixed, or whatever the case might be. So it's interesting, man. It was an 8-hour one yesterday, man. I couldn't believe it. But it was really interesting. I recorded the whole thing. I want you to listen to it. I want you to definitely listen to it. Not the whole thing. I'll try to break it up in pieces, but
it was interesting too.
I've been posting them on my Facebook.
Yeah, like Nagual, when he was on the one I was on the other day, it was like 2 days ago. He's the only one that actually comes with documents.
Mine or a separate one?
He was on yours.
Yeah, right?
It was Nagual when J Money was on there.
Okay.
And like, he's the only one that comes with actual documents. So like, you can look at his documents and be like, okay, well, let's look at it and see what he's saying, see if we come to the same conclusion. You feel me? Like, he'll like put them up.
I like that.
Yeah, and I like that because he does that. Even if I don't agree with everything he says, I'm like, well, at least he's basing it on something that he read and he can show me. These other people, I never see them do that. They're just like, oh, well, it's just my opinion that this is this. And I'm like, okay, cool, bro.
It's facts. Take my word for it.
But then first they'll say it's facts. And that was my issue with the J Money dude. He was trying to present it as facts at first. And then he turned it into, oh, well, this is just my opinion. And I'm like, but you didn't say that earlier. That's why when Nagual was responding, Nagual was being facetious. I don't know if you caught that. But he's being facetious. He's like, well, it's just my opinion that you suck.
Yep.
And it's just my opinion, bro. Right. I'm like, see, because we can play that game too. Like, I see the block.
Yeah, definitely. He did that to
Like,
Black too. Him and Black got into it as well. Like, I think that's
yeah.
what led up to all this because I had
Oh,
like
they
all of
did?
that.
They got into it?
Yeah, they got into it. I was in the law library, like looking up the tenant landlord stuff, and
Yeah.
I had to keep them muted on my end, but I had the live going on. But as when I went back to listen to it, they got into it pretty bad. But then they try to reconcile, you know. But I feel like that's what Black like. I think a lot of things led up to that argument that we had on his live. But whatever. Like I'm not tripping. But it's just funny how people are, you know, as soon as they get a chance to talk. So yeah, I was a racist, you know, by the end of the live, I was a racist, you know, I was and he doesn't like East Africans. He says East Africans are always racist. So I'm automatically an East
Whatever
African.
that means.
They were telling me to go eat a burrito, you
Pero
know.
tú eres más mexicano que eritreano, así que
Right. And they told me to go eat a
Según.
burrito, you know.
burrito. A burrito is a little donkey. They don't even know what that means, but whatever. See,
Yeah,
that's my
right.
point. See, they started doing those. But see, bro, I told you years ago when I was doing these lives, it wasn't TikTok, it was YouTube, and we were on the ones the Hispanic ones and whatever, because it's in New York. And they were even saying that one guy was very clear, and he everything he said came true. He said it's gonna come a time, all this so-called black and brown unity is all bullshit. He said it's really Hispanics versus Anglos. And he said, he was very clear. He said the Anglo blacks, meaning Americans, the so-called FBA people, that's what he called them back then, because FBA wasn't a term they used at that
Anglo
point.
blacks.
Yeah, he said because they're Anglos, like Latinos and Anglos. So like the Anglosphere, you have the Latinosphere. He said there's black and brown unity until there isn't, until there's some type of political thing, and then suddenly those Anglos are going to be saying exactly what you just said. Oh, go back to your country, go eat a burrito, go, you know, this is America, we speak English. Then suddenly they're American. They're American.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Even these black ones, that's what I'm saying, because he was saying really the race issue is really bullshit. It's really a cultural thing. And he said no matter what, there is a difference between Anglos and Latinos and everybody else. And he said, as far as he's concerned, from the perspective of the rest of the world, so-called black people and so-called white people in America are both Anglos. They're both the same fucking culture compared to everybody else. Like, in other words, let me just put it to you this way. You know, a black man from Brooklyn and a white man from Brooklyn have more in common than that black man has with a black man from Mexico. You understand?
Yeah.
Because they're different cultures.
Yeah.
One is Anglo and one is not.
Exactly.
But the media tries to pretend that, oh no, that's not true, because the black man in Brooklyn has his dark skin and the black man in Mexico is dark skin. They actually have more in common.
The same.
That's a fucking lie. Because you're experiencing it yourself when they're telling you things like go eat a burrito.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying you're not one of us. We don't care what you look like. And but this was predicted already 5 years ago in 2020. We were talking about this. This is going to happen. And now that, you know, President Trump with the whole immigration thing, you know, and sicking La Migra on everybody and encouraging, you know, so-called real Americans to call La Migra on everybody, this is what you're seeing. Now you're seeing the divide. That's really the delineation. It's really Anglos versus everybody else. You understand that? You get that now, right? Because even if you are technically an American citizen, what these Anglos are saying, whether they're FBA or whether they're white nationalists, which is really the opposite sides of the same coin, is that you are not our culture. That's really what they're saying. Even if you are an American citizen, you are not our culture. You're not Anglo. They don't say Anglo, but that's really what it all is. That's what if you look at it, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, that's facts. That's
You
facts.
get it?
I remember. Yeah, definitely. Because I remember one of the FBAs. I was on Chief's channel, and he was like, they were like, okay, so what is FBA culture? And he was all, they're like, yeah, can you name any black culture? Like, what is black culture? And he's all, everything in America. He's all, I don't even like to call it black culture. I like to call it American culture. Everything in America.
Because it is
Like,
American culture.
Yeah, he wanted to claim it all, the like YT culture, like everything that's in America is there. So like kind of like aligning with the Anglo, like And so, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
So
if you look at American culture, it's
to-
heavily influenced by, right? Like there's no, you can't to say that, to pretend that the culture that so-called black culture is just its own separate thing is a lie. It's American culture, because again, the black man and white man from Brooklyn have more in common than the black man from Brooklyn and the black man from Nigeria. It's just a fact. They're not the same culture. It's that, I mean, so if people want to live in some type of fantasy world where that's not the case and just make things up, and I've seen that where they try to like create these parallels. Oh no, actually this derives from Africa, and I'm like, well, what? Okay, so show me what ethnic group in Africa is eating this food. What ethnic group in Africa is doing this and doing that? No, the ethnic Africans, when they come here, they see people who look like them, and they say, "Hey, we want to dress like you, look at you." It's the Black Americans that are influencing them, not the opposite. You get what I mean?
Right.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I know you don't agree, but I think it's true.
Here,
But I hear
let's
you.
go ahead. Let's go ahead. No,
Yeah,
and I think we're
introduce
talking
you.
about something specific, Smart. We're talking about something specific right now. Because I was going to say to Jay, like some Africans, they were clowning that man for saying just American culture and not bringing up that it's Black culture, not like separating himself from that. But I definitely understand what you're saying. Because I mean, that's where America got its culture. White America has no culture. Everything it derives from
Exactly.
is Black culture. So that's
that
why
part
they
is
say.
true.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying, though. That's
No,
what
that's
I'm
what
saying.
What I'm
saying,
saying
Smart.
with us, a lot of our culture that we developed here still is based on our Africanness.
Can you give me an
of it.
example of that?
All right, when the brother on the corner
Yeah.
and they all drinking, let's pour out a little something for the brothers that ain't here. What is that? Libation. That's African. Okay, we all
Mhm.
know that. You know, you pour out that Kona
Well,
for the brothers that ain't here. There are things we have created it over here, no doubt about that. But
Yeah.
we brought over with us certain things that we do that's just Black, period, no matter where you go. And so for us to divorce ourselves totally, we cannot. You know, call and response in church, that's African. Okay, there are a lot of things that we eat okra. We still eat some of the things we used to eat. We eating yams and sweet potatoes and all
Yeah.
that. So I don't agree with the fact that we can divorce ourselves totally from African culture. That's not true.
Well, I think I agree with you in the sense of like, if you want to talk about things originated from some ethnic groups in Africa and you don't want to divorce yourself from that, I can agree with that. But the issue is that it's been so heavily modified in the United States that it doesn't resemble its original origin if you go back there, is my point. That's why I'm
Well,
saying,
I
like, go
mean,
ahead.
some of that is true, but like
Go
with
ahead.
those examples I just gave,
Yeah.
that wasn't created totally here from our experiences here. I don't
Oh,
disagree
no.
with what
Yeah, I
you're
agree with you.
saying,
I agree
but
with
what
you.
I'm saying is
Yeah.
we are Black, we are African, and things gonna cross back and forth. That's all.
Yeah. No, I hear what
That's
you're saying.
all. Of course, we created. We're like a hybrid. We created whatever culture America has exactly
Right.
because white folks don't have culture other than
Well, yeah, I see what you
destruction.
mean. Yeah.
You know, but what I'm saying is, you know, Black people, we always put our
Start coming
stank
in
on
hot.
something, no
Yeah.
matter what it
Just
is.
It's definitely more
Hell yeah.
influential and stuff. Yeah.
Our
That's
Africans,
all.
our
And we need to
Africans
quit.
stink. All right.
Our African stank. Stank. Say it like that. We put our stank on it.
Yeah. I'm just
Look
saying.
at twerking. You look
Hey.
at dances or
I'm
whatever
just. I'm
that we
just.
brought.
I'm just saying, Smart, that when it comes to the issue, though, like even if there's clearly, like you said, there's things that were brought over and survived, but the issue has to do with like the culture itself. Like there's not a direct, preservation to the point where you could be like, oh, well, we know that like everybody came from this specific part in Africa. They belong to this specific ethnic group in Africa and they maintained all that. That's all I'm saying. That it got mixed
I hear
and,
you.
you know
And
what I
I
mean? Mixed
agree.
and modified and developed and all these, right? You know what I mean? So like somebody who's actually native to a specific ethnic group in Africa, like from the area that ancestors were taken from, they're not seeing themselves as the same as a Black American guy from Tennessee. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I hear
You
you.
know what I
I
mean?
hear you.
Yeah. I'm
No
saying-
problem with
I-
that.
yeah,
But we still
okay.
West African. You go do that DNA.
Well, you
that's
still
where
have
those things
ancestors.
came from.
You still have ancestors that are definitely from West Africa, right? That's true.
Absolutely. And that's all I'm saying. We need
Oh, yeah,
to
I agree with that. I agree with
have
We
been
bang in East
colonized in the
Africa.
brain. We've been watching Tarzan all our life. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We
No, I agree
both
with
been
that.
colonized.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, and that's
And
what I
what
was.
we got to stop doing is seeing how
Go ahead.
different we are and start seeing how the same we are, and then work together to get this devil up off of us. That's
Facts,
all.
facts.
Yeah.
All right,
Go
thank
ahead.
you guys. Let me go ahead and introduce the other two out here. Thank you, Smart, for coming in. It was coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Oh,
Yesterday was
you
a
know,
heated
after
debate.
yesterday, I'm gonna come in hot. Okay.
All right, what's up, Peace? What's up, Peace? How you doing? I do want to acknowledge you.
I'm doing good. How about yourself, Vibes?
I'm hanging. I'm hanging in there. I came for a walk, so I'm just resting up a little. It's the weekend, you know, getting ready for Monday again. We got one more day. Yeah, you still doing the panels on your own, Piece?
Yeah, they've been getting crazy lately. So I just been,
Yeah,
staying away from it, chilling.
you gotta be the equalizer, you know. You gotta bring the world to peace. Okay.
I'm trying.
Um,
I'm trying.
awesome, awesome. Let's go ahead and introduce Big Back. What's up, Big Back?
Hey, what's up?
Can I get you to introduce yourself, please, with your race or ethnicity and where you're from, please?
I'm Big Back. I'm from California, and I'm Black American, African American, whatever, Black,
Awesome.
whatever.
Awesome. Welcome to the panel. Welcome to the panel. Do you want to respond to anything you've heard, or do you want to speak on the prompt?
So, when it comes to African Muslims and Arabism in Africa, I'm pretty sure you guys saw the news where Trump, he kind of was talking about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. And if you don't know, since the fall of Libya, there's been a lot of Islamic extremists that have gone around killing Christians. And if you know Nigeria, northern Nigerians, I think, are predominantly Muslim, and then south, those are where the Christians are, and hundreds of thousands of Christians have been unalived. And to me, it's really unfortunate to see how much religion that does not come from Africa has really fucked us up. And that goes for Christianity and Islam. But since we're talking about Islam, I think that it's very unfortunate that we continue to allow these systems that are not our own to cloud our judgment and dictate, how we move. The fact that you have Nigerians killing other Nigerians, I mean, it's just crazy. Even though from what I'm not a Muslim, but I do know that it is haram to kill. So.
Right, and we're getting different intel about what's going on in Nigeria. It's these proxy groups and they're unaliving not only Christians but Muslims as well. The things that I've heard, and even from boots on the ground, like Americans that are there reporting on this, But America always likes to take the holier than thou side, and need excuses to come into other countries and prop up in there. So I
You
do believe
already
that's
know.
what I think. I do believe that's what's going on there.
Yeah, because Nigeria
I
has
could
oil.
stand corrected, but yeah, go ahead.
Nigeria has oil. That's what I think it is.
Right. The natural resources, right? So, and right now,
reason why they would be so interested in all of a sudden in Nigeria.
right. And Trump needs every excuse to stay in office, So,
Yeah, because his own base turning against his ass. So, and damn well they don't give a fuck about black people in the motherland ever, about anything.
Right.
You got
Right.
starving children in Sudan and Somalia and the Congo. They don't give a shit about that.
right.
So miss me with all this other shit. You best to believe, connect the dots and follow the money, and you'll find out why they really interested. Because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
for real, they don't care. They don't care about Christians and Muslims here.
Right, exactly.
Give me a break. I get so tired of people falling for the okie doke. All you got to do is see straight through it. They keep doing the same thing the same way over and over and over again. That's usually insanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So
Mm-mm.
Vibes, what was your rationale behind this prompt? What prompted this?
So, like I was telling you, that argument I had with Black on his panel, because he was talking about Arabism in Africa, but it was very one sided. It was talking about how, you know, the atrocities that Big Back was talking about and other atrocities, right, in Africa. But going as far as to say that people that spoke Arabic were following these atrocity, these people that are doing all this harm with Islam now in the present, right? Not realizing that Islam was used by Africans, you know, back in the golden age of the Moors, we can say, right? There are certain periods of time where Africans were in control of the religion, and they used it as a tool, you know, to fight Christianity, to fight the Crusades, to fight the Inquisition, to fight the Europeans, you know. So not all of it is perfect, you know, but the things that they were able to invent, the things, the scientists, the mathematicians, the architecture, a lot of the mathematics, like a lot of these are the things that propped these places up. But also, in turn, you know, with different people running that religion and people coming from the Middle East and invading Africa, you know, you saw different forms of it, more extreme forms of it, you know.
Right.
And so.
Right.
And so they were attacking all Muslim people that spoke Arabic, you know, and were Muslims. And so I told them, like, hey, this is like, you can't go that far, you know. There's just because I speak English doesn't mean that I believe in the Crusades and I was part of the Inquisition and I'm English from England.
Right.
Like, you're not going to place that on people, you know. And so I had a big pushback on that, and I did this because I dated a Sudanese girl for 4 years. I have Muslim friends, you know. My father's family, they're half Christian, half Muslims, you know. Like, so we know in Ethiopia there was a period in time when they had Christians, small hats, you know, as a religion. Right. They had Christianity and Muslim. Oh, sorry, all three of them, and they all lived peacefully because you know why? Right. They all were the same people. They just practiced different stuff.
Right. Abrahamic religions.
Right. The monotheistic religions. Right. So, and not to say that was always good. You know, it wasn't always like that. Obviously, there was different factions and different people that came and conquered and used their form of religion. Even if it was the same religion, they used it differently on those same people. So.
And you can say the same thing about Christianity here. I get so tired of people jumping on their BS and they don't look at the whole picture. You know, it's like what Malcolm said, if a cat has kittens in an oven, does that make the kittens biscuits? You know what I mean? Damn. Just because you were there and you know, whatever, that don't make you a part. Just like with us here, we're Africans in America, if you ask me. So, you know, that don't, you know, Malcolm was so brilliant. He told the truth.
Wasn't he? And he called out his own people. You know what I mean? So that's what makes him even more brilliant. But I also wanted to make a comparison between, like, which one was worse, Islam or Christianity, Europeans under Christianity or the Arabs under Islam? Like, which one did the most damage to both Africa and the Americas?
Both.
And we all know that. But let's just say that the Islam was able to hold, they were able to fight off the Christians during Granada and the Moors before the 1492, before they beat the Moors, exiled them out. What would that world look like? You know, so I like to flirt with that idea just a little bit. And then also my culture, right? Eritrean in East Africa. I want to know, like, are they really, are they mixed with Arab people? Are they their own people? Are they indigenous, or are they something else? You know, so I'm digging for those answers. And I had a lot of smart brothers that came on yesterday and filled me in on a lot of that history.
That was so good. And I'm sorry, Vibes, I left because I was getting triggered, and you know, I don't want to mess your live up.
No worries, you good, sister. You know. I think I knew it was coming. Remember, Smart? I was trying to.
She just wouldn't let it go. I didn't say nothing to her. You know, So that was okay. I'll go on be a goddamn
It's so funny.
bicycle.
I listened to it back. Oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing.
Really?
You dropped that pretendian on her, and then that's when she went crazy.
Yep. And if you not one, then what you getting so mad for?
Right. If the
You
shoe
know
don't
that
fit.
they know that shit, and that's why they get mad. For y'all two brothers that wasn't here yesterday, it was a sister that was on here with that black indigenous shit, and you know, like I said, your own personal family's heritage. Nobody, I'm not in your family. You could certainly be mixed with any
Oh,
indigenous
shut the
people
fuck
here.
up, because all you do is talk shit. Shut your little funky
Ay,
ass
Don't
mi
you
up. Don't
madre.
even
Who would
bring
have
ass
guessed
those
that you
up.
would
nigga.
have came up
Like,
divine?
don't
Oh
worry
Bye,
my
about me.
god.
Stop
bye,
Here
keeping
we
my name
go.
out your
bye,
motherfucking mouth. That's what you
bye,
can do. Keep my
bye.
name out your mouth.
Here she
I
go.
know you're
How
obsessed
did you
over
just
me,
pop up,
but
Divine?
don't.
How did
How
you
she
just
I
gonna
was
pop
pop
up
just
up?
like
How
that?
she
scrolling.
been
That's the
calling
funny
me out
part.
my
I was
name?
just
Divine been
scrolling
stalking my
by
page,
and
waiting
just
for
so
her
happened to scroll
chance.
by. I see this little big face, fat ass woman on here talking
Oh
We
crap
my
about me again. Girl,
god.
why are
I'm
you
just
even
I'm
here?
just gonna cut this.
we
Why
wasn't
like
even
what are you
getting
worried
ready to
about
talk
me?